What is good, guys? It seems like the markets are finally showing a little more strength, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So, as you all saw, we had a green day in the markets. We gapped up massively over the weekend, and I mentioned I bought on Friday, 365 on SPY, and I'm up a couple thousand since then, and we're going to take a look at what's coming up next. So, make sure to show this video some love, give it a like, and subscribe, so you always know what's coming up next. Yeah, I guess let's just hop right into it. So, today, massive gap up, and as a result of that, we have a gap to worry about. So, that's really the one thing I'm looking for to the downside. And, this is going to go for the entire market. SPY does this, whatever you're holding, probably going to follow unless, it's an inverse or something like that. But, so yeah, this is going to be going for the whole market. I think we're getting close to a bottom if we haven't already made it. And, I have my position. I'm set. I also did hedge today towards the end of the day in case that we move down tomorrow, the day after, which I will talk about a little. But, yeah, this shouldn't be too long of a video. I'm really just going to be reiterating points I've made and then showing some new stuff that I came across today and that has been developing. So, we have those supports I've really been watching. I pretty much, a few videos ago, I believe, I made a video specifically about these, and let me put them up. So, for these were the big trend lines I was watching, and, we've been getting big reactions off of these, and this is what I like to see. You have this bottom one. These are the two really big ones that I've been watching. Way back here, I talked about how we would break out of it, and I said we could come back down and test it as support. And what did we do? We hit it, and so far we do need more confirmation because we've only bounced off of it once, I think, maybe here, but we did go lower, so I think this is a genuine bounce from that level, and now we just have to see if we're going to hold these levels. So we finally hit this trend line and got above this one too, which we went below last week, and that was a concern, but I mentioned you need to be below it for like 2 days in order to have confirmation that we truly are below that trend line, and we got back above it today. And this is the big trend line. This is the big trend line that I've been really looking at pretty much every single video, and we're back inside it. And yeah, so that's what I'm showing you for these supports. Really good reactions. We got back above all of them, but that gap, we actually have a lot of gaps to deal with right now. 4 gaps specifically. We're inside one right now, which today I was like, okay, maybe we fill it. Let me go even closer. I was like, maybe today we fill it. And we did not do that. We had some trouble at 376.50, which seems to be, we had some reactions back here, but the point is you're inside this gap, and it's tricky because there's a chance. So you have this, gaps can act as supports and resistances. So right here, this is the gap we made this morning, and this can act as support. So we might come down to this area. That would be tomorrow, actually. We come down, we hit this trend line, which seems to be relevant right now. You come and hit this, maybe you bounce. I don't necessarily, it's totally possible. I'm not really trying to predict what's going to happen tomorrow and the day after, because I'm looking for a gigantic move to the upside, and I'm not talking about like $4 or something, like massive, back to the 400s and over, because as I talked about in yesterday's video, there's plenty of fuel for a big move because of how much money went into short positions last week, as a result of institutions hedging or, just retail betting on the downside and all of that. So there's plenty of fuel. And I said we're likely going to see a squeeze in the first few days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and it happened during futures over the weekend. And that fuel still isn't gone. So, there's plenty of room for the upside, which you can see on the longer time frame, which I'll also show you. So, you have these gaps, and it's kind of a question of, are we gonna fill this, or are we gonna bounce and then get rejected here? So it's really difficult to predict what it's gonna do in the short term when it's inside of a gap, there's a gap under it, and there's a gap above it. So I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. I can't really say what it's gonna do until I think this gap gets filled. I think it's pretty likely that gap can get filled. It's entirely possible it doesn't. But if we get that out of the way, then I won't have anything to worry about, and I can be focused on the upside. But, there's a chance we come through here, and you make new lows. And even if that happens, I still think we're near the bottom. At least for the time being, like the next few weeks and months, because on the longer time frames, you have that moving average I talked about in my last video, and you're oversold. You have those divergences, which I also talked about, which I'm just going to show you these quick. You had the RSI, it was like exactly the same by like decimals. I don't know why the numbers aren't showing up, but it's basically the same right here, while the price is going down. So that's called a divergence. Price is going down, momentum is showing strength to the upside, and that usually results in a shift into whichever way those indicators are moving into. So divergences on the weekly, that's huge, and it's oversold, that's huge too. So there's a really big thing to be watching. And back onto the shorter time frames, you have a possible inverse head and shoulders forming, which this is a bullish reversal pattern, where you have shoulder here, you have your head here, and then you have another shoulder, and then you get a break, and you come back to, I guess, where this, I'd say the neckline is around there. So that's for high 390s, which, you have all these gaps up there, so it's incredibly likely we get back up there, back towards the 400s, and I think there's a good chance we break it, and specifically that big wedge I've been talking about for, I think, 2 weeks now, on that macro scale. So we'll see if we break out of that. If it does, there's so much money is going to be made. I will make a lot of money because I am very well positioned for that kind of move. So, it's right here. I lined up this, and this just to get more touch points. That's why I didn't do it with this one. And this bottom trend line. And if you get back up here, you break this level, this thing can fly. So that's really what I am looking for to happen. And if you saw that video where I overlaid 2008 on top of this year, in that fractal, you get a big bounce before free falling. So I really am not sure if this fractal is going to be playing out, but got to keep it in the back of your mind. In the fractal, you bounced big right here, and then you fell. So this is the trend line to be watching, that upper trend line. yeah, we might be getting back all the way up there, 400 all the gap. So I think it's likely we get back up there. And yeah, so that's really all I want to show you guys for this video. That's all you really need to see. There's a chance we do get another red day, maybe make a new low, but the big point here is I think we're getting close to a bottom. So um, yeah, that's where I'm gonna end this video. I said all I needed to say. Make sure to show this video some love. Make sure to subscribe so you always know what's coming next. And yeah, peace out, guys.